Hello there, high level listeners. Do you have a job interview in English coming up soon? Would you like to feel more confident in your business English vocabulary, your grammar structures, and sound more natural in your interview with your potential new boss? Welcome back to High Level Listening, our English education channel here on YouTube, where we give you side by side British and American English to take your English skills to the next level. And today we're back with another episode in our job interviews in English series.
Yes, that's right. Just like the last job interview episode we did about how to introduce yourself, today we're going to give you all the best vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structures to help you answer job interview questions about your strengths in clear, correct, and professional English.
So we know that it's incredibly important to be able to sell yourself during your interview. So we've got tons of great examples and grammar structures to help you highlight your strengths, your abilities, your qualities, and your skills. Like always, if you want to get a PDF transcript of every sentence and follow along with us, please join us as a High Level Listening member by clicking on the link in the description below.
Okay, so let's get started talking about your strengths. Let's imagine you've already started the interview and you used lots of good phrases from our Tell Us About Yourself video that we did before. Next, the interviewer might ask you something like, what skills do you have that would benefit our team?
Another similar question they might ask is, what would you say are your biggest strengths?
They could also ask, what makes you a strong candidate for this position?
Or perhaps, why do you think you'd be a good fit for this role?
Can you tell me about your working style and what you do well?
What do you bring to the table that others might not?
What skills or experience do you have that would help you succeed in this role?
Now, to be honest, all of these questions are basically the same, and you're probably going to answer in the same way. No matter what of the 6 or 7 questions we ask, you're probably going to answer in the same way. They want to hear about your strengths, your skills, and the things that you're good at. So we've got 10 different structures for you to answer these questions and help you talk about yourself confidently and correctly.
Okay, so let's start going through those phrases. The first phrase is probably the easiest one. If you want to talk about your strengths and what you're good at, you can say, I'm good at something. The grammar is I'm good at and then a verb, ing phrase or a gerund. So I'm good at doing something. If you were a project manager interviewing for a project manager position, you might say, I'm good at organizing tasks and keeping everyone on schedule.
If you're a graphic designer, I'm good at creating visuals that grab people's attention.
Listen to how we connect the words. It's good at. I'm good at. If you were a nurse, you'd say, I'm good at staying calm in emergencies and helping patients feel safe.
If you're a salesperson, I'm good at building relationships with clients and closing deals. So structure number 2, I know how to do something. Okay, so our first one we had, I'm good at doing something. And this one, I know how to do something. So this kind of shows confidence and experience with a specific skill. An example might be for a customer support agent, I know how to talk to customers and fix their problems quickly. So I know
Yes.
how to, I know how to, I know how to talk, I know how to do, I know how to fix.
Yes, it's always important to mention strengths that are relevant to the job. So if you were interviewing for a software engineer, you'd mention all the skills you know related to software engineering. So I know how to write clean, efficient code for large projects.
Maybe an event planner would say, I know how to handle last minute changes without stress.
Or if you were a financial analyst, you could say, I know how to explain complex numbers in a simple way. The third way you can talk about your strengths is to say, I have strong skills and experience in something. Don't forget the preposition with experience in an area. or experience in a field or a type of work. For example, if you were interviewing for a marketing specialist position, I have strong writing skills and experience in content strategy.
If you're an IT technician, I have strong technical skills and experience in network maintenance.
In this case, strong is another word for good, advanced, or high level. If you're a teacher, I have strong communication skills and experience in managing classrooms.
You might be an HR officer. I have strong interpersonal skills and experience in recruitment. This one's a really good one because, along with strengths, something that you are really good at could be an asset. And we use this a lot in business English, an asset. So, one of my strongest assets is doing something. Okay, so this is very professional. One of my strongest assets. It's kind of like saying, I have so many things that I'm good at, but one of my strongest assets is doing something. So if you are a UX designer, one of my strongest assets is understanding how users think.
Tricky structure. It's one of my strongest assets. So be careful with it. One of my strongest assets is staying patient, even under pressure. That would be a good one if you're a customer service rep.
If you're an operations manager, one of my strongest assets is improving daily processes.
And last example, if you were interviewing to be an accountant, one of my strongest assets is catching small errors in large data sets. The fifth structure we have to talk about your strengths is mentioning something from experience. Maybe it's something you learned recently or a new skill, a new strength that you have. I've learned how to do something. It's the present perfect. That's I have learned. I've learned how to do this, do that, and whatever new ability you have. If you wanted to be a software tester, you'd say, I've learned how to test quickly without missing small bugs.
I like this phrase because it also shows that you are willing to work on things, especially if you're trying something new and you're willing to learn as well. So if you were a trainer, I've learned how to adjust my style based on the learner's needs. So I've learned how to adjust or change my style based on the learner's needs. That means I can be a bit flexible, right? I've learned how to change things up. I've learned how to adjust my style.
I think we're also using the present perfect because we're talking about the things you have learned over a long period of time.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were working for 1 or 2 or 3 years, and over that time, I have gained lots of knowledge and gained lots of skills. So over time, I've learned how to motivate people and keep projects moving. That would be a good answer for a team lead.
If you were a retail supervisor, I've learned how to keep things running smoothly, even when we're short-staffed, meaning even when some people didn't come to work today. I quite like this one. A big part of my role is doing something. A big part of my role. Now, a lot of people might ask about your current role, and that is your current job. This is your current position. So a big part of my role is doing something. This kind of lets someone know that you have a lot of experience because it's a big part of your job. It's a big part of your role. So you have quite a bit of experience in this. If you're a business analyst, a big part of my role is finding trends and data and sharing them with the team.
Yeah, if I heard someone say a big part of my role, I understand that that is the skill or the strength that you use the most often. It's the one that you need every day at work, and therefore, I imagine you've become quite good at it. If you wanted to be a tour guide, you might say, a big part of my role is making people feel welcome and excited. That's the strength, making people feel welcome and excited.
If you're an electrician, a big part of my role is checking that everything is installed safely.
And if you were interviewing to be a customer success manager, you might say, a big part of my role is helping new clients get started quickly. Okay, the seventh structure we have. If you are in quite a competitive interview, maybe you know lots of other people are applying for this job because it's a great position, a great company, or a great salary, you can try and promote yourself or big yourself up a little bit and say why I am better than everyone else you're going to interview today. The phrase is, I think my ability to do something sets me apart. Sets me apart is the professional way to be really confident and say, I am better than everyone else. My ability to do something sets me apart. It makes me special. It makes me better, the best candidate. So if you were trying to be a product manager, you might say, I think my ability to balance what users want and what the business needs sets me apart.
If you're a translator, I think my ability to keep the original tone and meaning sets me apart. And this might also set you apart from using AI and a translator on the internet, right? So I think my ability to keep the original tone and meaning sets me apart, makes me different. I'm different from everyone else.
If you're interviewing to be a sales manager, I think my ability to connect with people quickly sets me apart.
You might be a video editor. I think my ability to tell a story through visuals sets me apart. Not everyone can do that, so that sets me apart. Okay, this is kind of interesting because the structure, the grammar is a little bit difficult, but we're going to go through it step by step. What makes me different is my ability to do something. So it's kind of similar to the last one. We have, I think my ability to do something sets me apart. But you can feel, this one feels a little bit more confident, right? Well, what makes me different is this. What makes me different is my ability to do this. So instead of saying, I think my ability to do this sets me apart. You know what? What makes me different is this. So it does have a little bit, let's turn up the confidence just a little bit. And what makes me different as an engineer, what makes me different is my ability to explain complex systems quite simply.
If you were a teacher, you'd say, what makes me different is my ability to keep students focused and excited. So if you feel like you've got one really good strength or one really high skill, this is how you present it. What makes me different is my ability to do this.
Quite like it because I can hear it in Mark's voice too. What makes me different, we do want to give some emphasis on the me, all right? The thing that makes me different. What makes me different is this. So if you're a consultant, what makes me different is my ability to spot problems early and offer clear solutions.
Or if you were a chef or a cook, what makes me different is my ability to make classic dishes feel fresh and new. The next structure we have is actually 2 in 1. This is also a very confident structure, and especially if you think that everyone in your work does one thing, but you do something extra, or you do something different or a bit special, you can say, I don't just focus on X, I also do Y. If you think that just average workers in your industry only focus on one skill, you can say how you do that and a little bit more. So again, you're trying to set yourself apart. You're trying to make yourself look like the best candidate. So for example, if you were a web developer and you know that most web developers just write the code and finished. I'm different. I work extra hard, or I have more skills. So I'd say, I don't just focus on code. I also care about user experience and speed. So I know what the average worker is like, and I do more than average.
You're an account manager. I don't just focus on client needs, I also make sure we're hitting company goals. So it's a good way to show that you know the balance as well. So we've got client needs, which of course are important, but the company is important too. So if you also have two very important topics, you can kind of mention them both in this structure.
If you were a designer, you'd say, I don't just focus on how things look, I also think about how people use them. So you can show that you think more deeply, or you have two priorities at the same time instead of just one.
If you are a receptionist, I don't just answer calls, I also help the office run smoothly. Both things are really important. I don't just do this, although I do it, but I don't just do that. I also do this. Okay, so now here's an extra confident one as well. Many people do this, but I also do this. So this is another way to balance these, but also to say, well, many people all they do is this, and that's fine for the basic part of the job, but I also do this. So again, this is another good one, especially what sets you apart or what makes you more competitive compared to the other candidates. So if I'm a social media manager, many people just post content, but I also study the data and adjust strategy.
I think it also shows that you're willing to accept more responsibilities. If your role is going to be quite complex and quite busy, you can show that you're already doing one or two different roles now. So if you were an interior designer, many people focus on furniture, but I also plan the space around the client's lifestyle.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty nice, Mark.
Yeah, I'd hire me. Yeah.
If you're a legal assistant, many people handle documents, but I also manage communication and follow-ups.
Especially if you think that they think the job is an easy job with low effort, you can say, many coaches just write plans, but I also check in daily to keep clients on track. That would be a good answer for a fitness coach. All right, so that's our list. 10 amazing ways you can answer questions about strengths. Now, let's put everything together in some longer interview questions and answers. Kat will ask me about my strengths like we're in a job interview, and I'm going to be a teacher, because I am a teacher.
Mark, what would you say are some of your biggest strengths?
I think I'm good at creating lessons that feel practical and engaging, especially for students who need English for work. I know how to explain grammar and vocabulary in a way that makes sense for real business situations. One of my strongest assets is building a strong relationship with students and helping them feel confident speaking up in class. I think what makes me different is my ability to adapt quickly. I always adjust my lessons based on the students' industries and language needs. I don't just focus on teaching from a textbook. I also include real-life materials like emails, meeting dialogues, and role plays so students are ready for the workplace. Wow. Okay. So big combination. Hopefully you heard some of the structures that we mentioned previously. It shows that you can combine and mix and match them in any way you like. Just apply your strengths to the structures and it will sound professional and confident. We'll give you one more example. This time I'm going to ask Kat, and I guess, yes, she's interviewing for a teaching position as well. So Kat, what do you bring to the table that others might not?
Well, I have strong communication skills and experience in teaching English to adults from a wide range of professional backgrounds. I've learned how to make business topics feel relevant, even to learners who are new to using English at work. I think my ability to stay flexible and tailor each lesson to the student's goals sets me apart. Many teachers focus on general English, but I also help students write clear emails, speak confidently in meetings, and prepare for real workplace situations. A big part of my role is supporting students and building the confidence to use English. And I don't just teach the language, I help students apply it in ways that matter to their careers.
Ah,
So who got the job, me or Mark?
yeah, when can you start? Yeah, right. We'll let the comments
got the
decide.
job?
Who would you hire?
Okay,
That's a good one.
so there you go, everybody. A list of 10 clear professional language structures that you can use to talk about your strengths in your next job interview. Let us know in the comments below about your strengths. Why don't you answer some of those questions that we had at the beginning of class? We read and reply to every single comment, so we'd love for you to get involved and practice with us.
Yes, please do. We always like reading your thoughts and ideas. And don't forget, again, that you can get a PDF transcript of this episode if you become a High Level Listening member. That way you can read and see all of the questions and all of the examples as well. You can download it and take it offline. It would be really handy. The link for that is in the description below.
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon for another video here on High Level Listening. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.